Target! You are a blue chip company. Surely you can afford to hire a Latina woman to say that phrase. I mean, no offense, I'm sure there's probably a good handful of your workers who could knock that line out of the park if you asked them nicely. Just annoyed me. You know, here's an open letter to a candy I wrote. It goes thusly. Dear makers of the candy now and later. Lose the later. If you're eating the now and later candy now, you're eating it now. If you're eating a now and later candy later, to you in that moment, you're still eating it now. Maybe like as an extreme version, you could call it like N squared. I don't know. Just a thought I had in my brain. Please welcome to the stage, also my friend, and maybe yours after he talks to you, Ross F.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! Woo! None of you ever going to be my friends, are you?
Oh.
Funny part is, John told that story. That did just happen with the car and us driving upon him. John tells it as if he was extremely angry and that it's like his rage. John's rage, this is literally how he said the words that he expressed. Yeah, I know who you are. Exactly at that volume, and that is the angriest that I've ever seen John. The fact that in his mind he tells it as like a rage-filled story makes it that much more amusing. Yes. All right. Guys, you notice when you're talking to someone and they use a generalization where they exaggerate about something, and their version of an exaggeration is not even as bad as like what your daily habit is? I'll give you an example because I can see you're a little quizzical about what that means. I was talking to a girl and she goes, I haven't washed my sheets in like 2 weeks. And my job at that moment, all I did was go, oh. And then remain silent for as long as I could, trying to think of the right way to tell her that probably I lean towards half a year in terms of how long I wait to wash my sheets. Another one, similar timeline, someone goes, talking to someone and they go, oh dude, this is ridiculous. I swear to God I haven't gotten laid in months. Yeah, you're a loser. What's wrong with you? You're waiting for my time, how much no, I'm not going to tell you! Guys, I have a name. What do you think of when you think of Ross? The name. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, hangers. Okay. Yeah, Ross from Friends and then Ross, the department store, right? And there's a problem with that. A, because every time you drive past a Ross store, has to say, I got it at Ross, of course. I'm used to that, I can deal with that. Here's the problem though, Ross as a store just isn't that great and it never will be. Like no matter how good a Ross is, it's always gonna be mediocre at what it does. It's always clothing that's fucking 6 months too late. You may find a gem in there, but you're still dealing with aisles that are about as thin as I am and you have to squeeze by as clothes are falling down onto the floor. Here's the worst part, when you walk into a Ross, the person, I don't know what you call them, like theft protection, that are standing right there that greet you, clearly these people are not equipped to like greet people on a daily basis because they're fucking criminals, and they're theft protection because they're like someone they knew used to steal shit from Ross and hook them up with a job. Sorry if any of you work there and do that, but they come in, I go into one over on Lincoln, and it's good by Ross standards, but I go in and this guy is standing there, and he comes in and greets me and he goes, hi, and welcome to Ross. That is the most unsettling "and" that has ever been used in the history. So unnecessary, made me feel so weird. Hi, and welcome to Ross. So fucking creepy. And here's the thing, when you go into a Ross, you know that you can't leave a Ross without buying something, otherwise you feel like a criminal. Walking out of a Ross with nothing is basically the equivalent to robbing a bank and wondering if the fucking sensors are gonna go off. Because every time they do, and then you just gotta keep moving through the Ross. Hi, and goodbye to Ross. Guys, I was kind of a weird kid.
Was?
Damn it! It got me! It's only now, though, thinking back to those times that I realized that I was weird. Like, weird in unexpected ways. Like, I used to listen to that Pure Moods CD a lot. Remember that, Pure Moods? Oh, I love that CD so much. I don't know how it ended up in my house. I think my mom bought it, but like, it was mine instantly. I played that one song. It's like the first track that plays. Hey, takes you away into a fucking mystical land. And then you got Enya coming up soon after that. Sail away, sail away, sail away. And I was just wondering, like, I know that I listened to that as like a young, I want to say like probably 11, 10 years old, whatever it was. Like, what was going through my mind emotionally that I was like relying on this music as like to keep me going? Like, I had to have an Indian voice in my head to keep me through the hard nights. Hi, 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 oh, hi, hi, I want everyone to just sit with that for a minute. Can we please just put these Foster Farms chickens out of their misery, please? Woo! These poor fucking things have been trying to kill themselves for the past 15 years so that we can eat them, and we're not letting them. What kind of cruel fate is that? That there's two people that are constantly on a journey so that they can die and be fed to... This one resonates with you, I can feel it. All they want is to die, but like they keep on getting filled up with salt water and exploding, and then they come back to life, and if they keep trying to die, it's probably the biggest nightmare that's ever been depicted on TV. Everyone needs to turn off their TVs. That one's a weird one. You notice that we can't stare at kids? No, wait, that's not. Notice you can't look at kids anymore, especially when they're staring at you and you want to return their gaze just because it's a human being staring at you, but you're like nervous to look back at them for too long because you like don't want to upset anyone in the vicinity. So they're staring at you, assessing you, getting the beat on you, knowing what you're all about, and you can't even figure them out. So you got to keep looking away. And it's like, you know, I'm so sick of that, like, of parents being overprotective of someone looking at their kids as if like, you know, like that's the sign of a molester. He'll look at your kids first, then he molests them. He may be at a common place you know. He may be a cashier at somewhere you work and your kid comes in. Oh, you looked at your kid? Means he's getting molested. My thought is, and this is coming from a strictly non-molester point of view, you can choose to trust me on that or not, I don't really care. What a weird thing to say. What a weird thing to say. I want to like just say to one of these parents, like, when they give me the disapproving look after I've been looking back at their kids for too long, like, please, I have better standards than that. As if I would molest your child. That one is also weird, but I've been thinking about what it would be like to be homeless, and I think, you know, in these times, I'm not going to go down that road, talking about times that we're in. All I do is, like, when I drive around, I, like, check out potential places where I could be homeless at, like, places to crash. You guys ever do that? Like, that's a good spot. I could get pretty cozy over there. Yeah? Anyone ever do that? I do that. You guys want to hear where my spot is?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to fucking tell you. You think I want all you coming out to my homeless spot? I'd also think about what kind of homeless person I would be, you know? Like, you gotta, at one point in your life, wonder how you would conduct yourself as a homeless person, because you have all sorts of options, right? You can, I know you're all thinking of all the possibilities of all the homeless people that you've met. Probably the only one that's going through your head is the one that shits in public. It's the only one I can think of right now. But I wouldn't do that, because that's too easy, right? Come on. Be original, homeless people. Here's what I would do, because I got a lot of free time, is I would just study one person for a week, like study everything about their lives. Some might call that stalking, I don't know. I don't. I call it homeless patrolling. So you figure everything about their life, and then at some point, pretend to just sort of accidentally run into them and go like, Jeffrey's not coming back. And then just walk on. Okay? Then you take a shit in the street while they're watching. That'll really fuck with their heads. You know the biggest prize of all, this whole mankind, is when you're driving and you let someone go in front of you, or you make a nice gesture on the road and you get the wave from the driver, and then you look back and there's someone in the backseat and they're also giving you the wave. You got 2 waves in one car, probably the best you're ever gonna get. All right. You guys aren't buying that one. Here's a good one to end it on, because it's questionable, and I'm sure it'll just round out this entire questionable line of jokes that I've had. You notice that some people can't say the phrase black people without sounding racist? Those 2 words can come off as more racist than any slur that you could ever hear. Like, my roommate has this problem where she knows that she has this problem, so she'll kind of stutter up until the way to it. She'll be like, oh, I had this table at my work tonight, and just a lot of black people. And it's like, to me, I'm like, these words, they're piercing my ears. And all it is just normal words, but you can't help but sound racist. Okay, that one needs probably a punchline, but I'll get it eventually. Guys, thanks a lot.